Hello, I'm Dolan Rushing, and I would like to share some perspectives with you of mine regarding living a global lifestyle. I believe the world is headed in a direction where we can live truly globally and not be limited to one country, one culture, one language. I believe that people are free, really, spiritually. And I think many people in this world are confined to their own country, their own language, their own culture, their own traditions. And as we progress in time, we are becoming more adaptable to new ideas and opposite cultures and connecting more on a global scale from country to country rather than just staying in our own country because the world is becoming more easy to live in. It's becoming more easy to travel, becoming more easy to not be limited to one country, but really uh, just living a global lifestyle. With the online work that people are doing with the telephones these days, you're able to see anybody's face all around the planet from wherever you may be. You're able to see their face and talk to them as if you were in person with the use of modern technology. You're able to get from one side of the planet to the other in usually less than 24 hours. So I think that is something very special. And that is a life that I look forward to living and am working on being able to live. So, some things that I wanted to share with you regarding being more skilled and living a global lifestyle are well, the first thing I would like to talk with you about is language. So, of course, when you're living a global lifestyle, you have to consider language because you need to be able to communicate with the local people and have your needs met, have conversations, enjoy yourself, connect with new people. And that includes and requires speaking that language of the native tongue of the country that you're in. So I believe we're headed in a direction, the world is headed in a direction where we can speak, where we will be able to speak one language so that we can all communicate together. And I believe that is happening. And there are several languages that you can speak and almost be able to communicate in any country. So those languages are English, French, Spanish, um, Arabic, Portuguese, because Europe colonized other parts of the planet. So in those countries that Europe colonized, like Portugal colonized Brazil, UK colonized Canada, um, France colonized parts of Africa, um, you're able to speak those languages in those countries. And that may not be their first language, but they will be prone to learn that language as their second language. So, in my mind, if I learn 5 or 6 languages, I'll be able to communicate in most countries. Number one international language is usually English. So, that might be kind of the forerunner in this game of learning languages. Another thing I wanted to give you a tool for being able to speak languages. Um, that's something that I struggle with a little bit. I would love to be able to speak every language on the planet so that I can communicate with everyone. But of course, that's just not super practical. So I use a service called Google Translate Interpreter, conversation mode. And I'm able to put my device in between myself and another person of another language and of another culture. And I'm able to translate our conversation with pretty pretty good accuracy usually. Some languages are more accurate, some languages are not quite as accurate, but you still get your point across and you can still move around and maneuver through the culture using this translation service. So I've had full-on conversations with this translation service talking about deep things or meaningful things or big things that are beyond just necessary requirements for getting around. And also I've used it for directions, navigation, if I need an answer to something, if I need to find something, if, in the airport or in the bus stop or in a grocery store or in a taxi. So Google Translation conversation mode is a great tool when traveling abroad. Another good thing to note is time. So in the world, there are many different time zones. There are actually 24 unique time zones on the planet. So when you're coordinating with other people around the world, you need to have your time down to an accurate translation. So if you're meeting with somebody online to meet, like in person, you're seeing them, you're hearing them, you're interacting with them like you're in person. You may not be able to touch them, but you're able to interact with them. You need to find a time that aligns with both of you if you plan to meet together. So say, for example, I meet with my Arabic teacher twice a week, and I have to translate my current time zone of wherever I'm located to the time for Gulf Standard Time, which is GMT +4 Muscat, Oman, where my teacher is located. So GMT means Greenwich Mean Time, which is the time of London. London is considered the central 0-point time zone in the world. And so when you say GMT +4, that means 4 hours ahead of London. And that's kind of a universal time coordination. And actually, there's also something called UTC time and GMT time. UTC and GMT are the same time zone. UTC 0 and GMT 0 are the 0 point. So in Chicago, Illinois, Dallas, Texas, Kansas City, that's Central Time Zone. So that's usually GMT or UTC -6, depending on the time changes, which is a whole nother thing. But basically, you can use Universal Time Coordination, UTC, or Greenwich Mean Time, GMT, as a helper to coordinate your time. So we can say, so let's say my Arabic teacher and I are going to meet at 12 p.m. GMT time. So that will be 4 p.m. for him. So we calculate, okay, it's 12 p.m. GMT time for both of us, both my Arabic teacher and myself. So he has to translate, he has to think, I'm in Oman, I'm in GMT +4. So if it's GMT, it's 12 p.m. GMT time, I need to fast forward 4 hours. So 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, Oman time, 4 p.m. And I'm thinking GMT 12 o'clock, and I'm in Chicago, Illinois. I have to think GMT -6. And you can easily look this up on Google, which GMT time zone your time is. And I think, 12 p.m. GMT -6. That would be 6 a.m. for me, and 4 p.m. for my teacher. So that helps us coordinate our time. So basically, as we move forward in this global life that we're now being able to live, traveling the world, being in different time zones, being in different languages, we can use these tools, and these are just a few of the tools, to live more of a fluid global lifestyle. So Google Translate for language translation, and GMT, time zone, for time conversion. Also, there are other things like money conversion. Money conversion is not always easy, but you just use the local cash currency. If you have an international credit or debit card, that's the easiest way to just seamlessly use your bank account anywhere in the world. But not every country accepts credit and debit cards, so you do have to get cash in certain countries. And if you need to know say you're getting petrol at the petrol pump in Oman, and you see a price per liter in Oman, and you're thinking, how I'm from the USA. I don't know how to convert that price, Omani Rial per liter, to US dollars in gallons. You can just go to ChatGPT, just have the app on your phone, be connected to the data network, and just ask for the translation of Omani Rial per liter converted to USD per gallon. I'm telling you, artificial intelligence has changed my life as far as global travel. It's made things so much easier to understand. I can ask a system about things like this, and it gives me an immediate answer, and I don't have to dig through Google websites. It gives me the answer, and it's really nice. So I would also recommend using ChatGPT for any of the questions you may have about any of your travel needs, any of your conversion, any of your language, any of your currency. So just use your resources. There are resources out there, and there's so much more to talk about regarding this subject. But I'm just going to leave you with this for now. And just remember, it is possible. You can do it. And we are moving that direction in time and into the future. Good luck with your travels, and you've got my help and support. Thanks again.